right. You look up here, what else do we have? This is kind of a neat one, right? Aggies out there, the hardy avocado, as things come out, genetically engineered. You know how avocado trees, if you can find a source of them,
your avocado's at the top.
Your
avocado's at the top.
My bad.
Your
A little
fig's in the
bit,
middle.
guys, since I'm having issues. This was not always the issue. My wife does everything with the small plants. She does all the flowers, the herbs, the small groceries that you can pick up. They're the weeds. These days, more than ever, I go after trees and bushes, and a lot of the reason is just about 3 years ago I went blind. So my right eye is completely dead. It's just there to look pretty now. And my left eye is down to 20/200, so I'm legally blind. So it's more and more important for me as a survivalist to memorize what I have around me, to know what's going on spatially, and to know what that tree is and where I put it, so I can go back to it. I can't do that with the weeds. I can't do that really with the onions. If I step on an onion, I can smell it, and then I can stop and go back for it. But it's been a completely different world for me because I used to be able to go out, see everything, do everything. I used to be a lot more functional. So finding ways around to be able to do has been interesting. So I can kind of make out the images here, but I can't quite, not quite. So what else are we looking at? What's in the middle?
The figs in the
That's your
middle.
fig, okay, all right. What's this?
Dragon fruit.
This is your dragon fruit. This thing's crazy. We got into this. Have y'all seen these things at HEB? They're like $5 per dragon fruit. The white ones don't do very well. You gotta be further south in here. But the red ones, you get the clippings. You plant it just like prickly pear. I talked to some friends out in Malta, Malta across the seas. That's where this is coming from. Same kind of terrain, same climate as we have here. Dragon fruit are absolutely fantastic. And in the southern Cape of Texas, they're now growing these commercially. So you have a fruit that tastes like nothing you've ever had. If anybody's tried it, it's like a custard that a plant made. It's really strange. So give it a try. It's fantastic. And now we have something like 30 of these things growing. And they're just multiplying. And yeah, I've never seen a cactus grow that fast. But it is. What do we have up here on the right?
Or guava.
Okay, guavas. These things are nuts. These things are all around y'all's area as well. Same thing like the fig, same kind of tree. We're going and we're grafting. Hopefully we'll have about 300 or 400 of these trees by next year for free, completely for free. Hey, anything left?
Your Texas walnut in the bottom lower.
This is the little Texas walnut. These walnuts are only the size of a quarter. This is again Texas. This is something we're bringing in. They like all kinds of gravelly soil. This is a protein source. So when I talked about starving and not being able to live off of deer certain times of the year or any of the other kinds of meats out there, being able to bring in nuts that have proteins and fats is extremely important. And doing these survival challenges, there needs to be a balance. So other than the agave, we're looking at nuts. So we're bringing in these Texas walnuts. Are from West Texas, but they're growing out here now. They're beautiful little trees. They're another protein source. And for the years that you don't have pecans, you can have walnuts. Everybody see pretty much everything that's up there? I think some of the things that we missed, y'all have chili patines out here in this area, right? Some good peppers. A few things like pepperweed, you have a few spices. There's just an outrageous amount of stuff out here to forage in Texas. And the idea really is that hopefully some of you will go onto your own properties and take a look at it. So if you suck at hunting, maybe you're good at this, right? You go, hey honey, I saw the beautiful buck, it was so pretty I couldn't shoot it, but I brought you this instead, right? I don't know, they have all kinds of edible arrangements in the mail that you get, or you can bring her some cactus. It just depends. It's been absolutely fantastic to do this, and a big part of what we're doing right now is trying to network with areas just like y'all's, with people that enjoy the land, that know the land, that love the land, to go out there and any of those secrets they know about, the plant that their grandparents taught them, or that their dad showed them or their mom showed them, to go in and bring that information in and say, hey, I got something. Nobody else has this one thing, or just 20 miles off or 5 miles off, you can have something completely different that nobody knows about. And to try and propagate that, figure it out, share the knowledge on that thing can be an extremely fulfilling manner. So we're trying to make videos of this. We're trying to show people what's possible, take them out into the outdoors and let them eat stuff. But please make sure that they positively ID that before they start eating the berries. I've had a few people trying to eat nightshades, think they were chili patines. That was always fun. So, I don't know. All right. Anybody have any questions?
How do you know the difference between nightshade and chili patine?
Well, the nightshades are usually going to be on a vine-like structure. There's a lot of different ways to go about identifying plants. Even though they're going to tell you to be very, very careful, most things in the world are not going to kill you just by putting them up to your tongue. You got to really chomp into that and do yourself some damage for a while. So even though like crow's poison and night lilies, they taste horrible, you'd probably have to eat something like 4 or 5 good mouthfuls and really hate yourself before you started to feel bad or upset. So take that chili patine and rub it in your eyes. No. I have a niece. She's taller now. They kept fake feeding her, but she came down and she loved M&Ms, and that little plant was over there on the sides, and we didn't watch her for 2 seconds, and she looks sideways at M&Ms now. So it was kind of one of those bad learning experiences. It's a lot of crying. We don't like peppers anymore. But yeah, doing kind of a taste test, being able to put it up your mouth. They go nightshade, all these things. A lot of them can really mess you up, but it takes a bit of it to really get into your system to mess you up. And for the most part, nature's going to tell you what's bad. So I had a couple survival experts out last year. If anybody follows Zach Fowler, anybody know that name? The guy that won season 5 of Alone. I don't know, it's a bunch of people that go out in the woods, they hate themselves. And they lose a bunch of weight, and they get money. But he won that thing, he came out to South Texas, he's from Maine, completely different world, and he goes, I'm gonna eat a chili patine. So he walks over, and he comes back, and he goes, that wasn't that bad. And I go, did it taste like a pepper? Well, no. He had just like eaten nightshades. And I was like, that's because you didn't get a chili patine. You've just been grabbing things off of vines. So it's very important to make sure that you know what you're doing and how you're doing it. But yeah, information is really the deal. Once you positively ID these things, and these are mostly trees and bushes, grow more of them, right? Go propagate them, learn how to do cuttings, learn how to do all kinds of root grafting, learn how to propagate them quickly, and then put them wherever you need to. And you never have to learn, is that the right thing again? You can increase your land, you can do all kinds of stuff. I don't know if wildlife, if y'all go about with any of the permaculture stuff, adding swales, any kind of water retention. But you have a multitude of options to make sure that your land does stuff actively without you having to maintain it all the time. Putting things where they need to be and making sure that you don't really have to keep on tending them forever. Any more questions?
What's the name of that flower?
Is that the Turk's cap? Turk's cap. And these are taken by storm. West Texas is absolutely full of them. My river, we're talking like 20 foot above my river. That entire shelf is covered with them inside the forest. They're beautiful little tree, little plants. They're woody little plants. And they're everywhere. And they're already out. So the flowers are already out, which means the fruits are already out. You can definitely tell that the deer like them, because when they come through, they'll browse all those things out. But I've seen flower bed after flower bed full of them growing up over my head, especially in West Texas, out in the desert. Out here, they're at all the Lowe's and Home Depots. You can pick them up anywhere. And again, it's a plant. Nobody sees it as food, and you can pick your own Turk's cap apple fruits to put inside your pies or whatever throughout the year. Or if you ever have to, you get hungry, you can eat your flour bed. So, not a bad deal. Mushrooms? Is that the question? All right, so mushrooms. We're in South Texas is kind of a strange thing. So if you travel up north, they are crazy about mushrooms, right? You have all kinds of mushroom hunters. They're all about it. It's some serious business, and you can pay a lot of money for mushrooms. Here in South Texas, it's a lot harder to find mushrooms on the market. It's a lot harder because they go bad so quickly, and not a lot of them grow in isolation here. So I've had a few things that taste like oyster, smell like oyster, but there are a lot of dangerous mushrooms out there. As far as the survival community, unless mushrooms are really your thing, I try and stay away from that as much as possible, and I've kept myself ignorant on a lot of it, because you can make a bad call, and you can die immediately. Or you can slowly starve for 30 days and eat bark and stuff. I'll slowly starve. If it's maybe have cramps and die on the ground in pain, screaming, it's not a sexy look. So I'd rather just do it slowly, you know? That's where we come down to it. I have grown some things out here, but even the commercial oyster mushrooms and some of the other stuff that I've tried too, the king mushrooms, they developed mold, and the South Texas fungi ended up eating the live fungi that I brought in. So it was, this place is pretty extreme when it comes to funguses, and I have not had success. So if anybody has funguses out there, or oyster mushroom, or any of the others, and they're doing it, and it's propagating, it's working, I would love to grab some spore or spawn off of you, and I'll steal that immediately. But right now, I'm at a loss for anything that will take South Texas and everything it throws at it. So, anybody else? I don't know. So, check out the channel, guys. The channel is Bob Hansler. This is what we do. Foraging is only a small part of it. We do a lot of snake trapping. We do all kinds of fishing. We make all kinds of primitive traps. We kind of, again, show people how to enjoy being out in the outdoors as much as possible in various ways. So take a look at the channel. We're always posting new videos. As they mentioned earlier, we're going to be in West Texas, back in the Davis Mountains. We do that for about 6 months every year, and you'll see different parts of Texas that maybe you weren't aware of, or even if you were aware of it, different aspects of that same area that most people never even thought about. So guys, if you have any questions, I think it's time to eat. Everybody's hungry? Yes, ma'am. I eat snakes. What did it say again? The venomous snakes, I eat those too. I have one of the iterations out there on the trail. I was horseback for all those years. I did eat a lot of rattlesnake, because I'll eat Spam all day, but after a couple months, Spam gets a little hard, right? I had a lot of rattlesnakes along the trail. I learned how to cook them in a number of ways, and I ate hundreds of them. About a year ago, one of them bit me in the arm, and then I got to go to the hospital, and that was fun. I got all of the medical training. I've taken lots of courses and classes. They never told me that I was going to lose consciousness or any of this other stuff that happened. So it was an all new kind of education. And now my idea is that if you intend on eating it, use a stick or a stone. No meal is worth what I went through, or the bill, right? It got me in the arm, which is what the doctor kept on laughing, because I'm a white male. Apparently this happens to me. All just males. Males put their hands on snakes, I guess, or do dumb things when pretty girls are around. And so all those years out in the mountains, I got lucky. The venomous snakes, I get asked that question quite often. You take it off the head, you can cook the entire body, you have no problem with any kind of venom. You're not going to have any issues. The meat tastes amazing, all right? When it comes down to that stuff, you've heard, if it injects into you, you have a problem. But otherwise, even if you wanted to cook the head, you can still eat the head. You can eat venom even if it's not cooked, and usually not have an issue. So it's all food if you're hungry, and the longer you're hungry, the more it's all food. It is. You become not picky real fast. So does that answer it? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've eaten some strange things, guys. I really have.
Yeah.
So if you want to see me eat things that are tasty sometimes and things that I'll never want to eat again sometimes, that's on the channel too. But you never know. Check out the channel. Again, Bob Hansler, I think is one of the door prizes. I put 2 of the survival cards up there. I sell survival cards. They go in the wallet. They're just in cases. Sometimes people like to be prepared. $1 from every purchase that you get from online goes to support the Boy Scouts of America. And so that's the organization that I try and help out with as much as possible. So guys, I appreciate y'all having me. Come track me down if you have any questions. The little red healer, he's mine if he's behaving. But I really appreciate y'all having me. Y'all enjoy y'all's meal.